It's your boy B Ben Israel, the People's Champ, back with another YouTube live stream. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, you Negroes. Shout out to the ninjas. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody is doing well. It's October 20th, 2025. It's a Monday, y'all. It's a Monday, second day of the week. Hope y'all kicked in strong today. Yeah, man. Oh, man. On your way in the door, make sure you mind your manners, of course. Remember where you at. And hit that like button. Smash the bell. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And all that good stuff. Share to your socials like Facebook, Niggagram, all of those blick block, all that crap. You know what you got to do, so do it. Yeah, baby, baby. Make sure you check in with the chat. Make sure you recognize the mods. My soldiers, my warriors. Tell them what your profession is. Aru, Aru, Aru. Now how we do over here. Drop your links in the chat so everybody could spread the love. I am the Heisenberg of this ish, the Day Walker, the Dark Knight, the Black Magi. The ladies call me the Cookie Monster. You can call me Pumpkin Escobar, the Shogun of Charlotte. I am Vivan Israel, your host of the People's Podcast. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, baby, baby. Got a decent little show lined up for you. I'm sorry. Got I had to clear myself out. I'm sorry. We got a decent little show lined up for you today. We'll talk about some ish as usual. The main topic is going to be face up, ass down. And I'll make that make sense a little bit later on. We're going to talk about some ish. We are going to talk about some ish. I'm finding that in today's world, today's environment, how I should put it, communication, you would think would have gotten easier, but it hasn't gotten easier. It's actually seeming to get more difficult as time is going on. It's becoming more difficult. And I have a few theories on why that is, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into any theoretical arguments or debates or discussion on why it is such. But today I'm going to talk about the fact that it is. That's what we're going to keep the discussion centered on. Why? Why? The fact that it is. Not why is it, but the fact that it is. I hope y'all follow. I hope that makes sense. Better keep that handy. Keep that little close. Camera, right? Do it better. So I find it coming on two fronts, and it's divided right down uh, gender lines between men and women. So with the men, particularly as time is going on, so the younger men are not becoming more articulate, even though they have access to all of this information. They struggle to articulate themselves. And it's not just younger men, but I would think the younger men would be more articulate, being that they have all of these tools that they have access to. It's not the case. It's not the case. They grew up in a world with all this technology, but they're not using their tools effectively. So I would have thought, as a younger man, when I was a younger man, that by the time I became older, men would be, generally speaking, men would be more articulate. That is not the case. That is not the case. Men are still struggling to communicate the same way they were 20, 30 years ago. I think men still have limited vocabularies, even though some words have become more commonplace in today's vernacular, but men are still limited. They have limited vocabularies, even though they may be using some more, some words have become more normal and common. They haven't added to their vocabulary levels. Again, I find it strange and sad. I find it sad. But I mean, when you look at the average American still reads one book or less per year. That means in the black community, that's even less. You got people who don't have any books in their house, let alone reading. Even if they have a book in their house, they're not reading. I think that's safe to say, or am I wrong? Y'all let me know. Y'all correct me. Women, however, they use a lot of words, but they're not saying much. They just use their words. Like they're telling a story where a sentence would suffice. That's what women are doing. Telling a whole damn story. When one sentence, a straightforward sentence, would be more than enough. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot. Well, let me do that real quick. So I keep this screen from going dark on me. There we go. So yeah, ladies, stop telling these stories. Every answer we get can't be a story. Can we just get a straightforward answer? Yes, no. Why did I get two paragraphs when a yes or no would have just done fine? But it goes to what I've always said. I remember when I was in school. I don't know if they still do this. I'm really doubting they do, but you had to answer yes or no, and then please explain your answer. They don't do those no more. Yes, answer yes or no, then explain your answer. But what ladies like to do is skip over, and a lot of these younger men are doing it because they're effeminate. They like to skip over the yes or no and jump right into the explanation. And when somebody's trying to move a conversation along, right? You make it difficult because you won't answer the question. So I don't know what it takes the story. I'm asking a question so I know where to go next in the conversation. But when somebody doesn't answer yes or no, you don't know where the hell to go. If you even get a chance to go because they're just rambling on. Like, shut up. Or they start asking, they try to outthink you. I know why I'm asking what I'm asking. You don't know, ladies. So I'm asking you what I'm asking you for a reason so I can go to the next point. So I can move the conversation along. And this happened a couple of times this past week. Young lady was telling me her daughter was having problems getting off campus. I guess a break is coming up, the fall break or whatever, I guess. And they had to leave campus and come home. And the Uber couldn't get on campus because the front of the campus was blocked off. Okay. Well, there has to be a contingency. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I would assume or presume that the campus officials thought of this. They know kids take Ubers today and, those kind of things. So when they made a decision to block off the front of the campus, because that's where Uber is going to come, because that's the address. The address is going to be in the front of the campus. So you would think that the officials would have considered this when they made the decision to close the campus. This isn't their first rodeo, right? So I'm asking a simple question. Did your daughter call campus police? Because that's who would have been in charge of actually physically closing the campus, the front of the campus police, the campus security, whatever they call it, right? I wish you had more traffic so I can get a response to that. Some of you may have children that's on campus. The answer I got was I'm going to have her call the RA, or in response to what I just asked. My question was, did she call campus police? I'm going to have her call an RA. I'm like, slow down. You're not answering the question that I asked. Like, like I'm asking it for a reason. What the fuck is an RA gonna do but call campus police? So now you got to call an RA for them to in turn call campus police, assuming the RA is still on campus for that particular dorm. And women always want to try to teach you something. Well, each building has an RA. Yeah, I went to college. That's generally how it works. It's not what I'm asking. I understand that. I don't need you to teach me that. I understand that. I've already considered that, which is why I'm asking you to call campus directly. Why is she calling you? You're 1,000 miles away. Let's say. I don't know how many miles, but it's some significant miles away. Why is she calling you? She's a young adult, you know, gotta be 19 to 20. She's a young adult. At 19, I bought my first house. I had a business. So I wish y'all stop acting like these 20-year-olds or these 21, 22-year olds are not adults and they gotta be babies. Stop babying these kids. Stop babying these kids. I went to school, you got dropped off your freshman year, and that was it, damn near, for a lot of us. We didn't get baby. You got dropped the fuck off and figure it out. That's how it was 30 years ago. So we've gone backwards. Now that we got to baby these kids, they're not adults at 18 no more. But when they making adult decisions, like popping open their legs, right? They want to tell you how adult they are. But trying to figure out how to get off of campus or make it to a bus station to get to the Greyhound, they got to call mom and daddy for that. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Am I crazy? Did anybody else not go to college in the 90s or the early 2000s? Did you have to call your parents to have them baby you for every decision? You didn't know how to make it off campus? Like, then these mamas, they get pissed off at you for asking the question. Why are you even fucking telling me this? Like, I try to explain this to women all the time. Men are problem solvers by nature. That's our instinct. Some men are better than others, but men are still men. And when you come to men with a problem, they may not say nothing, but their brains automatically start going in to problem solving mode. Come to a man with a problem. Men think, oh, you need help fixing this problem. That's what men, the way men's brains work. Women oftentimes, that's where the disconnect comes in with communication problems with between men and women. Women are calling for a support, for you to understand, for them to vent, and you just to be there for them. Well, ladies, that ain't what. Call your girlfriend for that. Call your mama. Call your sister. Call a woman if that's what you're looking for. But if you come to a man with a problem, men are going to try to solve that problem or say nothing. Now, if a man doesn't say anything, then, oh, you don't care and you don't understand, and all of that bullshit comes out. Right? It's not that men don't care, they just don't want your bullshit when we start giving you our response. Some men are smarter than others. I need a person smart enough because I fall into this trap often. I find myself at my elderly age, I still get caught up in this. You know, what I got to start doing personally is asking women, which response do you want? Before I give my answer, well, let me make sure I understand. You're wanting me to help solve this problem? I got to start asking that. And then if a woman says no, I just want you to hear me. I just want you to listen to me. Then I got a response for that. No, thank you. Call your therapist. Call your sister. Call your auntie, your mama. Don't call me for me to be your free therapist. You want me to provide therapy? Hit the Cash App. The link is in the description. Hit the Cash App. $50 an hour. $50, I'll listen to you and I'll provide you all the support you need. And that's for anybody, family, friends, lovers, whoever. Because I'm tired of the bullshit. And they're so fucking rude and disrespectful. Hanging up on somebody is disrespectful. And as the late great KS told us, they have a low level of contempt. They don't respect us. That's why they just hang up. You're hanging up because I'm asking you, did you call campus police? The people who are in charge of who comes in and off, in and out of campus, right? Those are the people who are in charge of that. Now, granted, you would think that an RA would have the information that somehow they would have got the information. But we have to understand what an RA is. Most RAs are students themselves. They just might be an upperclassman. You know what I mean? They're a sophomore. They may be a junior. They don't get paid. They get a discount on their room or something, you know. That's what RAs get. But RAs aren't professionals. They're not being paid. Why are you calling an RA? Did she or can she just call campus police? When I was on campus with the student phones, usually it was like a one digit number, like nine, or you didn't have to dial 911. You just dialed like a nine or a seven or something on the campus student housing phones. Yeah, I assume they still have those. And if they don't have those, you use your cell phone and just dial their number. And you ask a question. I find it strange. I didn't even get into this part of the conversation because you hung up. And this goes into the, well, how did you say it? Or I hope you didn't say it like that speech and shit that goes into women's brains. I don't give a fuck how I said it. Your child is the one who can't figure out how to get a black ass off campus. But yet, she's so smart. She's so smart, but she always having problems getting off of campus or finding her way home. It never goes according to plan. At two different colleges now, two different universities, white schools, not even HBCUs, two different white schools she's attended, and she's always having these transportation, getting off of campus issues, can't make it to the Greyhound. My question is, why does she always wait to the last minute? Why is she always one of the last students to get off of campus? That boggles my brain. And I hope she's watching. I hope this young lady, this friend of mine, is watching. Because I couldn't have this conversation because you hung up on me. So yeah, I'm talking about it. It fits right in to today's show because you ain't the only one. Y'all operate, and this woman is my, upper 40s, going on 50. And yet, I had the same problem with a 20-something-year-old young lady that I was talking to. We were talking about cash register. And the cash register, this young lady is a manager of a store. And she hits me up this weekend because her employee called her or texted her and said she added money proactively to her register. They count the registers at the end of the night. Many places, like, do that. And the young lady just during the middle of the shift states that she added money to her register. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you add 5, 10, 20, whatever it was, to the register at the beginning of it? Strange to me. Now, so come to find out, the register ended up being $5 and some change short. Wait a minute, the register ended up being short after she claimed to have added money to that register in the middle of her shift. My immediate reaction was, why? Why would she do that? So I can only think of, well, you think you made a mistake. So, well, you know you made a mistake. So you just went ahead and threw a couple of dollars in. You you threw a couple of dollars in because you thought you knew you made a mistake, and that's what you went ahead and tried to compensate for it. Or or she lied. She lied right up from the beginning. Again, I have no reasoning why she would actually do it. I can only speculate. Welcome to the Beef Podcast. Make sure you have hit the like button and smash the bell on the subscribe button. I thank you. So, regardless, the register ends up coming up $5 and some change short. Now, my experience, I used to be an area supervisor with McDonald's. I had 5 to 10 stores that I fluctuated to. I was also a retention manager. I was responsible for hiring, training, and firing. But ultimately, our goal as retention manager was to retain employees because it's cheaper to retain employees than to replace them. McDonald's recognized this 30 years ago. So instead of just firing people and creating revolving doors, we would try to find ways not to fire them. What was the fireable offense? And what could we do as a corporation to reduce the amount of employees that we ultimately had to fire? Because we recognize that store managers, assistant managers overreacted. And a lot of the times they fired employees that could have been saved, especially with women with that catty shit. A lot of people got fired because, oh, I just don't like her situations like that. So instead of firing the person in that catty bullshit, maybe we could move them to another store. And that would be a better situation, you know. So I rotated employees from stores often, believe it or not. And if I move somebody from one store to another and that problem persisted even at the new store, well, then now I got to fire them. But if I didn't have the problem from them at the new store, then maybe I need to do some coaching at the original store. Hey, remember that employee I moved out of your store? Yeah, well, they're doing well over here. So I find myself moving employees out of your store often. I don't think the employees are the problem. I think we need to adjust some things in the way your store is being managed. That makes sense. But my point of bringing up that I work for McDonald's is I've counted thousands of registers in my career, my 20-year career, that I began when I was 14 years old. I got into management when I was 16. They began training me to be a manager. I learned how to count registers back then. Long time I did. So one thing that we're told to look out for when we're breaking down the register, meaning we're closing it out, is even numbers. Shortages with even numbers. 5, 10, 20. That usually indicates that. So I'm trying to explain this to this young lady. She's just not getting it. And of course, they want to talk. They always got to talk. Oh, when is it my turn to? That's in their brains. When is it my turn to talk? He's doing all the talking. And the talking, I should be able to talk the same amount of time or more than what he's talking because they don't respect me. Well, I'm in a teaching role. I'm trying to teach this young lady something. And what I'm teaching her is a very simple concept. Y'all follow along with me. Y'all follow along. So, if the person made a mistake, right? Let's say they gave out a $5 bill instead of a $1. Let's say the change that they were supposed to give a customer back was $1, right? And they happen to, for whatever reason, give a person a 5 instead of a 1. How short should the register be at the end of the night, assuming there are no more mistakes? Can somebody in the chat please answer that question? Put the number in the chat. How short should the register be? I'll wait. This ain't hard. It's basic math. The change you're supposed to get back to the customer is a $1 bill. You end up giving back a $5 bill. How short should your register be at the end of the night, assuming there's no more mistakes? If somebody answer the question, please, in the chat. $4. The register should be $4, assuming there are no more mistakes. How do you get to $5? And it's never going to be an even number. I made it an even number for the sake of math. They say you're supposed to give a customer back $1.50, and you give them a $5 bill. I mean, you get them $5.50 back instead of $1.50. The math is the same. $4. It's still $4, right? Or $3 or $2 or I mean, I tried to explain it in because they weren't getting it. So I tried to explain it in different ways. I tried to explain it in different ways. They just weren't getting it. But the reason they're not getting it is because they want to talk and teach me. Well, let me explain. And we got a dollar counter in it. That ain't got shit to do with what I'm telling you. At the end of the night, I'm not talking about the end of the night. I'm talking about stay in the moment. Imagine what's happening right now. We're talking about the customer is right in front of the employee. and your employee made a mistake, stay right there. I don't care what method you use to count the registers at the end of the night. Whether you got a dollar counter or the money, what they got a few different kinds. They got dollar counters that recognize the type of billing. And you got dollar counters where it only counts how many bills it is. For example, with those dollar counters, you count, I got 28 $5 bills. So you type in, you count, you gotta make, you gotta put in, let the machine know that we're talking about $5 now, not $1. We're talking about $5 bills. You gotta let the machine know the difference, the denomination that it's counting. So you select $5 versus 1 versus 10 versus 20. You put in which denomination it is, and the machine counts it all. And they got 28 fives, right? Or you got 12, you got, $110 bill, whatever. That's how the machine works. With the machine, it counts, recognizes those are much more expensive ones. You got the ones who can distinguish between the types of bills. You only see those at high volume stores. Even when you get to the change, you let it know. Well, with the change, you don't have to let it know because the machine can tell by the weight. Each coin weighs something different. So you just put the little phrase up there and it recognizes, what it's supposed to be based on the weight. But we're not there yet. We're not at the end of the night. We're in the beginning. We're right here. The customer is right there. You just gave the customer their change. I find it strange that in today's world, she got so many customers paying with cash. That's strange. And that's what I say. I probably shouldn't have said it because now I'm bringing up, that's what to teach me that this store in the mall got all of these customers paying with cash. Okay, yeah, that's possible. I also found it strange that they start their registers with $300. Very strange. I'm like, that's strange. No, it's not. We do a lot of business. You're not a high volume store, I said. I'm explaining to her a high volume McDonald's does multiple $10,000 deposits over the course of a day. So each shift, there's 3 shifts. Each shift probably is doing $10,000. And so we talk about $30,000 a day rolling through a high volume McDonald's. That's unusual. And even in those stores, you only start to register off with 100, maybe $150. Because you're going to start making money so fast. You don't need that much change. And in today's world, many people are paying with their cards. Hell, when I was working for McDonald's, we didn't even accept credit cards because it wasn't a thing. Everybody didn't have a debit card that they could swipe someplace everywhere they go. It was very rare. It was a rare situation. I mean, I had a couple of stores that could accept credit cards, but it wasn't the normal that very rare. So I meant to ask because she didn't want to hear what I had to say. I'm like, just listen, I'm trying to teach you something. You have theft in your store. If somebody takes $5, and then the next time they're gonna take 10, and then they're gonna move up to 20. But it starts out with 5. And what is the $5 for? For them to buy them a slice of pizza, for them to get a couple of dollars for gas. That's what the $5 is for. Somebody took $5 out. How else would you be even 5? You're never going to be even 5 or 10 or 20 unless somebody made a mistake or they're stealing. But the mistake would be they gave them a $5 bill on top of, like, two bills were sticking together and you gave your customer two bills instead of the one bill you should have given. That's rare, but it can happen. I've seen it happen. It's a rare thing. That doesn't happen very often. Plus, how often are you taking cash? Oh, we take cash. Oh, God. Everything, they got to be adverse to what you're saying. That's their communication model. Everything you say, they got to do the opposite of. They got to be counter to you. That you see that with the liberal Democratic Party. Everything the Republicans put up, they're automatically against it because they hate Trump. Right? We see that today. Everything Trump's, even the shit that's good that happens, they can't go with it. They got to go against it. Remember the little boy with the cancer, the brain surgery or whatever? They couldn't even stand and clap for that little boy. How sick are you? But that's how they are. But because you got women so influential in the Democratic Party in leadership positions, and so many black women that are getting into it, that ideology is a part of the party. I was talking to my cousin, my male cousin today. He had sent me a text this weekend and said something about tell your boy Trump to give Biden and Harris some credit. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Give them credit for what? I don't know what you're talking about. So then he responds today with another question. Men who do that, women do that. They don't answer questions. You ask them a question and they'll ask you another question. And they'll just keep doing it to you. And you never, so they're getting information from you, but they're not giving you any information. They don't like you answering questions because they don't want to give you any information. I got to get better at defending against those type of tactics. Somebody recently showed, they played a video. The guy was asking the young lady some questions, and she does every question he asked her, she came back with another question. And then he would answer her question and ask a question again. And again, she would do it to him again. She's like 5 or 6 questions deep and has not answered one question on this video. And the guys, he's answered about 10 or 15 questions, and he was the original one asking. I'm like, look at this crazy shit. But a lot of men fall into that, and because the masculine perspective, we want to move the conversation, so we're gonna answer the question and then move on. But they do it, it's like a game, and women learn how to do that from the time they're little girls. They do that, little girls do. And what happens? They grow up and they turn into women. I see people are popping in and out. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button and subscribing and smashing the bell and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. I must be getting women coming in and out because they don't like this conversation. Though. They don't. That's how they do. They want to remove themselves. When it's a conversation, they don't want to acknowledge. They get the fuck out of there. They skedaddle. I wish I had my little noise. Shit. They fucking skedaddle like a cartoon. And I see them popping in and out. So that's what happened. The young lady with the register, she hung up. She didn't get what was being taught. Not only have I counted tens of thousands of registers, not only that, have I done that personally. I made countless deposits. Not only did I work for McDonald's counting registers, I also worked for Radio Shack. We counted registers at Radio Shack. Now, Radio Shack had more customers using credit cards than a cash. Well, we still had cash purchases. I would say it was about 50-50 or 60-40. Credit card to cash. But you're just getting started being a manager. I made a career of being a manager with multiple Fortune 500 companies. I think which is why you came to me, I would think, in the beginning, because it was like, I need to get your opinion, and I'm trying to teach you something. Somebody's stealing is what I'm trying to teach. And you need to be on the lookout for it because it's going to increase. In some stores, they don't have individual registers for each employee. Like the way that McDonald's works is cashiers don't share registers. Nobody else goes in your register but you. But some places, it's one register and everybody's in and out of it. Where multiple people are in and out of it, gas stations, 7-Eleven kind of place. And I've seen Subway, I heard Subway is like that, where everybody is just, anybody can ring up your food. I'm sorry. I got older and I turned into my grandfather where the hair is starting to grow in my ears. And it itches sometimes. And it irks me. It's not my ears are dirty, it's the hair. It tickles me as it's growing. But I thought I got in there good with my clippers the other day, but I need to get in there again. That's why I know it's growing. because I could have swore I just trimmed it. But that was like Thursday or Friday, so it's been a few days, and I know it's grown. Yeah, the wonders of growing old. Mhm. I'm growing hair in places that I used to be. I'm not growing as much on the top anymore, but it's coming out of my ears. Ain't that funny? But they want to tell stories. No, you cut me off. Let me explain. I cut you off because I don't need to hear that shit. I'm teaching, but they don't get that. They can never put themselves in a learning mode, a student role. They always got to be, they going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. You're not going to tell me. I got to find out what's going on myself. They're trying to change the setup. So I don't even bother with it right now, but I'm gonna play with it one day. When I start podcasting more again, I think that'll make me want to find out what this new format is that we got. It's a purple little box. I've never noticed that in the dollar signs back. Yeah, that's new stuff. But anyway, well, maybe it's because I don't have a paid subscription anymore. Maybe that's why I'm seeing some of this stuff. I don't know. I turned off my paid subscription when I wasn't using it. I wasn't using StreamYard at all. So I'm like, why am I paying whatever I was paying per month? I forget how much it costs now. 25, 35. I don't know. I try to eliminate some of those miscellaneous expenses. 25 here, 25 there, 25 over there. That that turns into hundreds of dollars a month very quickly for shit I'm not using. So I had to go through my expenses. Netflix, which I wasn't using. I use Cinema HD. Um, the StreamYard. There was a couple of things that I was paying for that I was not using. And they all $25 and shit. Now my YouTube, I pay for premium YouTube because I use YouTube constantly. So pay for that. YouTube premium. I keep looking up to see how many people I got jumping in and out. So forgive me. I can't see it. These are prescription. I can't see it. It helps with the light and shades help with the light, but I can't see that far. So that brings me along to my main topic. I'm not going to run too long, but the main topic, right? Face up, ass down. What am I talking about? Well, that's the state of America. America is face up, ass down. Right? We're in a feminine position. Effeminate. That's the position we're in. We went from a masculine position in the world to an effeminate position. And why is that? Well, because we put women in leadership. And it's affecting not only other women, but it's affecting men where you got men acting effeminate. And we're face down, ass up as men and as a country. Name a part of society, and it's true. The education system, face down ass, academia, right? Corporate America is becoming that. Face down ass stuff. We getting fucked. And it's so bad that our children, it's gotten worse. Start with my grandparents, right? My grandparents was able to work on a job right out of high school. Hell, people could drop out of high school and start work immediately, and they were able to build a life for themselves. But let's say high school. Right out of high school, they was able to get a job, take care of themselves, have a place to live. Then we go to the baby boomers. Right? Even with their parents, even with their parents giving them things, giving them houses and land, and that's what the baby boomers got. They weren't able, as a whole, to do what do what their parents did. So they less and less of them, less baby boomers did what their parents did. It should be more. They should have added on as a generation to the achievements that their parents were able to do. You always want your kids to have more than what you had, but they had less. Then we get to Gen X. Gen X didn't get anything. Gen X didn't inherit anything from their parents as a whole. Well, not everybody. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule. But as a whole, it didn't happen. Right? Now we're into the millennials. The millennials got less because baby boomers and Gen X didn't have anything to give to them. Right? And they're selfish. Baby boomers are selfish and they want to hold on to everything. So they still alive. They trying to take it to their graves. That's what they're doing. I got an 80-year-old aunt, 80-plus-year-old aunt, who's trying to buy my aunt's house, my other aunt's house. I'm like, why? Why would she do that? She has no grandchildren. She only has one child who's habitually single, who's never, she don't have no man. She in her 60s. She's never gonna have children. So there's nobody to leave the property to. Why would you buy? Why would you take a loan out at this stage of the game? Only thing you're doing is leaving the bill for somebody. So you can say you bought another house. Like it makes no sense. There's nobody to leave it to. Nobody. Not even no nieces and nephews that are close by. Like I can understand if you were doing it for that reason. Well, I don't have no grands, but I got nieces and nephews who operate as grandchildren, and I'm gonna leave them the property. That's the goal. I'm gonna buy this land and I'm gonna put it into a trust, which I'm gonna in turn leave to the nieces and nephews. No, that's not the plan. I don't know what the plan. It's insanity. People don't buy houses in their 80s and in their 60s and 70s and shit. People don't buy houses at that age. But this is what happened when the men died. Her husband died. Now she's making this retarded financial decision. It's no way it makes sense. No way. And but we're fucked. We're asked now. I mean, how would we do this? We should be trying to find a way. And at her age, at her age, you should be trying to preserve your father's legacy and making sure the land goes on to future generations. That's what should be in her mind. But as I've said before, women don't move legacy. Women move culture, but they don't move legacy. Men move legacy. Women move culture from generation to generation. So when you don't have men in the family and overseeing the family, because men have foresight, women have insight. So to move legacy, you have to have foresight. So you have a bunch of women running the family. That's how families lose land. Black people have been experiencing this since the end of slavery. Since we started buying, we've been dealing with this. And it's sad because our forefathers struggled through Reconstruction to buy their own land, to in turn have their daughters just fuck it up. Was that the plan? Hard to believe that would be their plan. But you can't tell them. They know everything. They always trying to teach you. Even though they got the land through no effort of their own, they act like it's kind of like when men play sports with women. Men out playing basketball, and the girl wants to get in the game. Now the men adjust their games to go easy on the woman, and then the woman wins, and she act like she did something. It's the same thing. That mentality is the same. And I'm not trying to explain this to women. If there are women listening and y'all getting what I'm saying, you understand me, the point that I'm making right now, then that's good. But most women are going to disagree because that's your nature to take the opposite position in today's world. I can't speak about older generations like the baby, I mean, not the baby boomers, but the solid generation women. They may or may not have been that way also. But modern women, and I hate that word, I hate that phrase, but they're definitely that. When especially when dealing, and my channel is geared towards black men. This is a black masculine channel. So ladies, I appreciate the viewership that you give me, but just understand what you're watching. I'm not talking to y'all. If I'm talking to y'all, I'll let you know. But otherwise, I'm speaking to me. And that's the purpose of my channel. I'm trying to talk to me. Sometimes I'll speak to the ladies directly because I know y'all watch me. But 90% of the time, I'm talking to men directly. think I want some Zaxby's tomorrow. I'm gonna eat the rest of that stew beef tonight. I gotta taste some Zaxby's. And that's Zaxby's. I might go down there. We'll see. I haven't been out to eat in a while. Anywhere by myself. I've been good this month. I went out with Imagine to the buffet, but I had to pay her for cleaning up for me. I had to bribe her with some sushi. So that's how I got there. Money well spent. I had a great time going out, taking my daughter out to eat. But yeah, we're ass down, we're face down, and ass up. We getting fucked. We getting bent over. We getting our faces pushed in the pillow, fellas. That's what's happening right now. And we got to stop playing that game. As Americans, we got to stop playing that game. But on so many levels, I can't think of any level where it's not true in American society. Our politics are like that. Well, I would say what Trump is doing is reversing that. He brought masculinity back to politics. But right now, with the shutdown, where the Democrats, they want to put our heads back in that pillow and fuck us in the ass. That's what Democrats want to do. That's the reason for the shutdown. So I was trying to figure out what the hell my cousin was talking about with the why he give Biden and Kamala some credit. I'm like, credit for what? What do you like? Please be. I hate that non-specific shit. That again, that's that bitch shit. Stop. I'm like, stop acting like a female, dude. I love my cousin, but get that female shit out your face where somebody's supposed to know what you're talking about without you actually saying it. Like, what the hell are you talking about? What did they do that you want credit for? Please explain. That Trump is trying to get credit for. I mean, and to throw Kamala in there, what did Kamala ever do? She didn't do shit. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I do not know. Like, make your case. Like, you got to come to this channel or you got to come to me, period, with evidence. You got to show your receipts. You can't just throw stuff out there, ambiguous statements that, like, what? That's like me going up to one of you, yo, you need to give me my credit. You're going to be like, credit for what? Right? Well, you should know what I'm talking about. I don't. I really don't know what you're talking about. And then I got to explain myself so that way we could be on the same page and actually have a conversation. And that's why I told y'all in the beginning, communication has gotten worse. You got one side not using enough words. That's the men. Duh, I don't know how to talk. And, you know, they got a little better with the advent of the manosphere. But most men don't know what the manosphere is, so they're dumb. And then you got women using too many words unnecessarily. I don't need a story. I just need a sentence. Do not give me a whole book when you could just tell me in one sentence what you need to tell me. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And then these people get mad when you're trying to get some more information or teach them something that they're clearly lacking. Like, if you understood what I understood, then you wouldn't be coming to me asking me a question. You wouldn't need my advice. You wouldn't need my opinion. You wouldn't want my opinion. What do you want my opinion for? What are you going to do with it? If it's not to help you, what are you going to do with it? You just getting opinions for the sake of getting opinions? Is that what's going on? I don't know. I ain't got no comments yet. Some of y'all better start checking in. Didn't I say check in with the chat? Is that hard? Come on, y'all. I asked for a like and subscribe and check in with the chat. Let's do it now. Let's do it. And hit the cash app. Send me $2 for the Pure Elite Tea Party. But I'm like, what's going on? What is going on with today's world where the face down and ass up? Everywhere you look in America. That is true. Everywhere you look. And again, like I was saying, that this current generation coming up, which are the alphas, they're never going to be able to buy a house. And it's sad. Never. They don't have a chance at it the way things are going right now. Not Black Americans. Not Black Americans. We gotta, in alphas, I'm like, y'all got a way to monetize yourself and you're not doing it. Now the young lady, a young lady was telling me her daughter's selling feet pics. I'm like, good for her. Good for her. She's using a tool to monetize herself. I'm not against that. She want to take pictures up with her feet, with a banana in between her feet. I don't give a shit what she's doing with her feet. Um, she got a balloon in between her feet. I don't know. I'm only imagining. I'm not into feet, so I don't know what turns men on. What are they just looking at feet, or are they looking at women doing other things with their feet? I don't know. I don't know men who like feet like that, where they want to pay to see some feet. But there are men out here who do it. I'm not against the young lady if she's found a way to monetize herself. And there's supposedly a website or app that's dedicated strictly to feet. I don't know nothing about it. I just heard it for the first time. I'm like, it didn't surprise me, but I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So, ladies, go ahead and get that money. If you got these fools out here that want to pay for pictures of your feet, and let them. I'm more of a lit man, you know. I like lips, but I still, even though I like lips, I'm not gonna pay for no deceit on. It's enough free lips out here in the world that I can see for free. I ain't gotta pay for no lips. And I like lips. I like to see on the face. I don't want to just look at lips separate from the face. I want to see the face too. And I think nice lips make the face look better. You know, Like I remember even smiles. I like smiles too. Um, I remember I worked with a girl and she was ugly, but she had the prettiest smile. Oh, when she smiled, I- her face changed. I'm like, yo, you need to smile all the time because she was actually cute. She went from ugly to cute just by smiling. Like you need to smile. Like her resting face wasn't cute, but when she smiled, it changed her face. You know, and I would have talked. Hell, I would have talked to her. It was a girl I used to deal with um, in high school. I knew her from high school, and she was ugly, but she had a cute smile, and I dealt with her. I could have married that girl. I was in love. Great conversation, never had any disagreements. Um, sex was banging. I mean, she had it going on, except for her communication. Back then, we didn't have cell phones, so it was always hard to stay in touch with her because I went away to college and she was in the country in Pageland, and it was so hard to stay in touch with her. Back then you only had a house phone, and so I only had a mama's number. And when I moved away, if she wasn't in her mama's house, I mean, if she wasn't, I lost contact with her. Unfortunately, I could have married that. I wish I had. I really like her. I was in love with her. Everything's great about her. Miss Felicia Blakely for Sunday. Amazing. Everything is amazing. That's the only word I could use to describe my interactions with her. Everything is amazing. Except her communication and saying it's her maintaining an avenue for communication. And tomato pants is growing, y'all. I wish I could switch my camera, but I'm looking at them. I just looked at them yesterday. But from yesterday to today, they bigger. I'm gonna have to raise that light up a little bit more because they about to be touching the light again. That's how I measured when I raised the light up in proximity to the top of the bottom of the light to the top of the plate. It ain't that much space so and they growing. So hopefully I'll be plucking off some cherry tomatoes soon. Hopefully. I need to grow some lettuce. I don't know why I didn't think about that when I just planted some seed this weekend. I planted some more seed. I planted other things. I didn't even think about lettuce. Yeah, well that lettuce will be in my next batch. I'm definitely gonna grow these tomatoes so I can have a salad. But yeah, we're fucked, y'all. We're being fucked face down, ass up as a country, monetarily, relationships, politics, education. Um, we did get the border fixed, so we ain't being fucked that way. But in nearly every other way in America, we're being fucked face down, ass. And we gotta find a way to reverse course, and that begins with men learning to be masculine, man. Y'all gotta lose this bitch shit, man. Y'all know it. Y'all just behaving like bitches. And it's crazy. It's flat out crazy. But I hope y'all enjoyed today's show, man. That's all I got. That's all I want to talk about. On y'all way out the door, make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell, share it to your socials, hit the cash app. What's that? 4 things? Help your brother out. Not asking for much. Feel like I'm panhandling, man. Asking y'all to put $1 in the tip jar. I'm gonna make that one of my thumbnails one day, a tip jar. Tip jar behind me. Or I'm gonna make a tip jar and take a picture with it or something. Maybe that's what I'll do. That might be kind of funny. But y'all watching on the replay, and a lot of you do. I appreciate you. But leave RT. I mean, yeah, replay team RT in the chat. Let me know you checking in with the chat on the replay. And I don't know if I'm getting hikes yet, but if you scroll over all my comments while I'm live, I believe, well, no, it's not just when I'm live. But if you scroll over, if you're able to scroll over on the comments, there's a new feature called the hype. So hype me up. It helps me get in the algorithm. So hit the hype as well as the chat. A lot of y'all don't even know about that feature yet. I've seen it a few times. So I think they're rolling it out sporadically. You just get it when you get it. Because I've seen people that had it on one video, but not on the other video. So, whatever. Whatever. Like I got the hype button, hype me up. But I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. I got more content coming. Nothing scheduled. But we'll try to keep on rolling with it. I'll make sure y'all stay tuned. It's your boy.